Golden Girls Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi guys! In today's video I'm going to be showing you a set of polishes from Glam that is their Green Heart polishes for Valentine's Day. And for Valentine's Day they're celebrating the love of animals, and I figured I'd kind of follow along with their little idea and celebrate a love of friendship with a design for the Golden Girls. And so this one I have got a little portrait of all four Golden Girls. I've got Sophia and Dorothy and Blanche and Rose, and then I've got the little Golden Girls logo written on the thumbnail. And the Glam colors that I mentioned, that Green Hearts collection, they're all amazing glitters. They're stunning. In fact, the one that I used for Dorothy is a color that I probably wouldn't have even normally thought I'd like, but as soon as I had it on, I fell in love with it. So I hope you guys like those, and if you are interested in them, on the 14th and the 15th of this month, so tomorrow and the day after, I have a extra discount code for those polishes specifically, and that will be in the description box below. So if you're interested in those, check those out. This gives you a little bit extra money off, and you don't have to be part of Glam's VIP program or anything like that. It's just off of their polishes without any extra stuff. And I also have my normal 40% off discount code. Same thing, you don't have to be part of their VIP program. You can just use that on any color, anytime, and you get a discount on it. So I hope you guys like that, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.
So to start out with Rose, I'm going to be using the color Make a Difference. So like I said, all of these colors have amazing names, and they're all super sparkly. This one is a gorgeous, really nice, really bright pink color. I guess like a dark medium pink, I suppose, but it's really rich. It's a really rich, beautiful color. It would be amazing layered on top of different stuff, but I actually really like it with the clear tip. I think that looked fantastic. You can't even quite get the gist of it in the video, but it's just so sparkly. So then I applied just some top coat, and I'm going to be buffing the surface to get rid of the shine, and I'll get into that a little bit more later. But for all these nails, after I applied the color, I did go through and do top coat and then buff them. I didn't necessarily show that in the video because once you see it, you know what's going on, but I just wanted to let you know that that did happen for the rest of the nails as well. So now for Rose, I'm going to begin all of her basic outlines, so all the basic shapes, not her facial features or little wispy lines in her hair or anything like that, but the main portion of her face. So I started with her jawline, and then I added her neck and the little top of her shirt that shows. Then I'm going to be doing the rest of her face outlines and then her hair outlines. So like I said, not the little wispy lines within her hair, but like the main shapes. Oops, I got down in there. I hit the microphone with my nail. Yeah, so now I'm going to start filling in Rose, and I'm going to begin with a light peachy color for her face and just kind of fill that in. The reason, so like I said, I'd get into a little bit more later with the buffing and the top coat and all that. So the reason I did that is there's two reasons mainly. When you're painting on top of gel polish, if there is a little bit of a tacky layer, it is going to do a couple things to your acrylic paint. One, it's going to make it slightly more streaky, and it's going to make it so that your brush gets a little bit sticky feeling. So your brush has this residue that's really hard to get rid of that just kind of hangs out in your brush and gunks it up. And it doesn't happen immediately, but over time it builds up and makes them less pleasant to use. The other thing that it's going to do is the longer you wear it, the better chance of the paint chipping away from the gel polish. So the paint itself is just going to kind of flake off, and that's not really a good look. So if you do this little top coat buff layer first, that's going to make it so you have a much better painting surface that is going to hold on to the paint, make the paint a little bit more opaque because it has something to grip to, and it's also going to preserve your brushes a little bit better. The other reason for this specific design I wanted to do that is because the glitter is in the background. Anytime you use glitter, it's not completely smooth. It's just the nature of glitter. These ones are comparatively smooth. I mean, no, to some glitters I've used that are completely bumpy, but to do a whole lot of painting on top of them, it is nice just to have a nice smooth buffed surface either way. So all that being said, after I have Rose filled in, I did yellow for her hair. These are very like caricature style, so I did not, instead of doing like a nice soft blondie gold color for her hair, I went straight yellow. And then I'm just going to be adding, like I said, those little swirly swoopy lines in her hair, and then you're going to go through and with black paint start doing her facial features. After you add just a couple of lines in her neck, just like that, and then go through and do her facial features. I started with her nose because I like to start with these kind of characters. I like to start with a nose because it's in the middle, and then you can build out from that. And the other good thing about starting with a nose is that a lot of times you can figure out where the nose is placed. So when I look at the face, so we're going to get into a little bit more here. So when I look at a face, I look at where the nose is placed. So you don't want to just grab a nose, stick it right in the center of the face every single time, because that isn't necessarily what you what you're looking for. So for Rose, she's turned ever so slightly to the side, so your nose is going to be ever so slightly to the side. So when I was looking at the picture that I was basing this design off of, and I was like, okay, so her nose is right from coming down straight from her partner hair. So if you can find something like that that you can sort of base the next step off of, so then after you have where you figured out where her nose is placed compared to other things, then you can go through and do the same thing with her eyes. Okay, so her eyes, the top line is right at the top of the line of her nose, and you can keep building off of all of your previous elements and hopefully get a very well balanced face at the end of it. So I blended in some pink for her cheeks. For Rose, I did a lot of blush on her. So each one you kind of have to, you know, they have their different makeup styles and all that. Add her smile. I did burgundy for her lips, white for her teeth, some blue in her eyes, some highlights, add little pink earrings on her. And then you are all done. For Dorothy, I'm going to begin with Ethical and Golden. So I tried to match my color names with the character that I was painting on top of them, at least as best I could. The only one that I don't think did as well is Sophia, but I thought I did pretty good for the rest of them. So I've got Ethical and Golden for Miss Dorothy. And I started out the same thing, start out with her jawline, then adding her neck and her collar, her shirt. So for Rose, I didn't have the video sped up quite as much, so it was a little bit slower. For the rest of these, I did speed them up a little bit because if I didn't, this video was about half an hour long, and that is a little bit, it's a little bit long. So I decided to speed them up a little bit faster, so it's almost like a time lapse for the rest of these. And as like I said, once you kind of get one face and you figure out how your style is going to be, you can just keep kind of going and changing the details for each character to make them who they are. For Dorothy, she's very monotone. Like when I think about Dorothy in my head, I don't ever think of bright colors. You know, she does wear some blues and some different stuff, but I try to keep it a little bit more simple for her coloring. So I used gray for her hair and gray for her shirt. So like her shirt collar and her shirt going down. And then add the same thing like I did with Rose. After I have all those base colors filled in, I went through and I touched up the outlines around, added some little lines in her hair, and then go through and add her facial features. My Dorothy got a little crooked. The great thing when you're working with acrylic paint is that it doesn't, to an extent, you can just keep adding layers of paint and it's not going to really add all of that much thickness. So if you have to just repaint over something, it's not going to be a huge deal and won't affect the end result. As far as I know, sometimes like if you're painting with gel polish, it gets thicker each time that you use it. So it ends up, if you have to repaint over something, your nail's going to be super thick. So then for Blanche, I'm going to be doing Natural Beauty, which is a really pretty red and silver mix. And again, kind of appropriate for our little Golden Girls characters with their names, with the names of the polish and the colors. So I just thought that was funny. So for that color, it is a red and silver mix, and it is so pretty. And I know that it is February, so it's a long time until Christmas, but this color I will definitely be using at Christmas because it is phenomenal. And going back to that Dorothy, the color that she had, which was Ethical and Golden, that color, when I first looked at it, I'm like, man, I'm not too super excited about this color. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I don't know, I could take it or leave it because I'm not usually somebody, that one's kind of like a bronze color that typically would wear that on my nails. Normally I wouldn't. But as soon as I put it on, I fell in love with it. And I don't know what it is about that color, but it has such a nice kind of a jelly creamy base to it. And the glitter is so sparkly that I fell in love with it as soon as I had it on my nails. And so, yeah, I do actually really enjoy that color, surprisingly to me. And so there I'm going to start with Blanche. With Blanche, you do want to add a little bit more makeup on her, possibly. I mean, this is obviously up to you, but I added some purple eyeshadow on her. A little bit more subtle in the blush, a really big smile. And the other thing with Blanche, so with Rose, I gave her just little pink earrings. For Dorothy, I didn't really give her too much for earrings, but she had just like a little diamond-shaped earring. And then for Blanche, I gave her really big hoop earrings. So those are little details like that that can definitely make a character and can give you just a little bit more recognition for who's who. Give Blanche some cleavage, you can't forget that, but just keep working on that one. Add the little gold for her earrings, and like I said, with the same thing with Rose, I actually just used yellow. So now for my Sophia, I'm going to be applying a coat of organic lavender. Like I said, I didn't think that color was quite as appropriate name-wise, but it's a really pretty, I wouldn't say it's lavender, I would say it's more of a light pink, but it's still a really nice color. If they had one that was like, I don't know, spunky something, that would be very appropriate for Sophia, but they didn't, so we went with this one instead. Same thing, start out with her outlines. And so just in case any of you are curious as to why I have a full set on my nails and why it's a little bit damaged, I guess you could say, is this has actually been on my nails for almost 3 weeks. I was on a vacation, which you guys will probably see more of, and you'll see the actual what was on my nails in a video fairly soon. But I got home from my vacation and I wanted to get these uploaded as soon as possible for Valentine's Day, and I had 2 days to do it. So I was like, you know what, I'm not worrying about filling my nails or soaking them off or doing anything. I'm just going to kind of fix them up a little bit and paint them, and I'm going to call it good. So that is what happened. If anybody is looking at them like, oh no, there's air pockets, there's lifting, she painted over the top of it. I didn't honestly wear these for very long because I did know that I had to get the lifting off of my nails. So if anybody's worried about that either, I did take that off fairly quickly. I really wanted to paint these and get them available for Valentine's Day because I thought it would just be kind of fun to do something not so romantic for Valentine's Day or anti-romantic, but sort of a friend's-anniversary, to steal Facebook's term, for Valentine's Day. Because, I don't know, sometimes friendship is better than anything else. Yeah. So, speaking of friendship, me and my little friend, Miss Melody, I have a quick little Melody Minutes at the end of the video that you guys should probably stay tuned for because it's really funny. At least I think so. And of course, I'm biased, but still, I think you might like it. And so then for Sophia, she does not have nearly as much other detail as the rest of them. There's no eye color for her. She doesn't have any makeup on. She doesn't even have red lips. So a lot of her details actually come in just on her glasses. So paint her glasses in there and make them really nice and oversized and big. And then add her eyes within the glasses. I would recommend doing the glasses first and then adding her eyes, because if you try to do the eyes first and then add the glasses, I know whenever I do that, I'm always concerned that I'm covering up some of her eyes and I end up making the glasses different than what I had envisioned, and it just doesn't quite turn out the way I had in my head. So then for the thumbnail, I'm going to be painting Eco Chic Red, which, same thing like I said, is for the Natural Beauty. This one is amazing and will probably be on my nails constantly around Christmas time. This is the best glittery red I have ever seen in a polish that you didn't mix yourself. So whenever I want glittery red nails, I always mix glitter into my red or into a clear base and then paint it on my nails. I never have found one that I think is perfect straight from the bottle. And this one definitely fulfills that little need of mine. So now for the logo, I'm going to be writing the Golden Girls. And so I start out with black and just writing golden right in the middle of my nail. I wanted the word golden to be slightly bigger than the actual logo. So for the actual logo, the T and then the 2 G's are slightly bigger than all the other letters. And as far as everything goes, it's all very proportionate. There's not like one word that's emphasized more, but I wanted the word golden to be just a tad bigger. So that's why I painted it a little bit larger in the center of the nail, and then add the above it and girls beneath it. And I went back and forth, I don't know how many times, if I wanted to paint thank you for being a friend or if I wanted to paint the Golden Girls. But if you guys decide to do it the other way, I think that would be very appropriate as well. I couldn't decide. I thought both choices were very good ones. So then I'm going to take not a metallic gold, but just like a golden color, and I'm going to fill in the words, the Golden Girls. So the black was almost like a sketch just to get your letters in place, and then it also leaves a little bit of outlines around your letters that make them pop off that glittery background a bit better. So that does help that way, but it's not like you're leaving the full black lines there. You're mostly covering them up. Then I'm going to take the color Eco Vibes, which is a really silvery little fine glitter that is almost kind of like snow to me. Another very good layering color. So all the colors I would say are more of like a layering color, except for that sparkly red that's on my thumbnail. So then after you have that done, a little bit of glitter on the word golden, cure that, and then I'm going to be applying a layer of gel top coat to all of the nails. And I am absolutely in love with these. I have watched the Golden Girls probably almost all of my life, and so as soon as I did this, I asked her, I'm like, do you know what the show The Golden Girls is? And he looked at me and goes, no. So we're gonna start watching this. I don't know if he's gonna like it, to be perfectly honest. I highly doubt that he will, but I think it's funny. So here's that cute little Melody Minutes that I mentioned. So I had just finished up with a client, and I was giving Melody a big hug because she was sitting there and she was like, I want you. And so I pick her up, and then immediately I realized she didn't actually want me. She just wanted to take off my glasses. So that's how this usually goes. She just grabs hold of them and rips them off. I hope you guys like this design and that cute little Melody Minutes as much as I do. And don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.